Want to learn an hour of fun facts? Subscribe to Zarpado. We are starting now. Golden poison dart frogs are so small they fit in the palm of your hand, but their skin is lethal. A single frog contains enough poison to kill 10 adults. Indigenous tribes use this toxin to coat the tips of their arrows. Its chemical intensity continues to baffle modern biologists. In 1938, a tire exploded on a train, causing unexpected chaos. The blast was so loud that passengers thought it was a terrorist attack. Authorities evacuated the cars without knowing the cause of the accident. They eventually discovered that the tire belonged to an experimental suspension system. Black bamboo is an exotic variety that grows at an astonishing rate. It can reach about 60 feet in just 4 years, creating dense forests in a short time. Its dark color makes it particularly coveted in architectural design. It is one of the fastest-growing plants in the world. The city of Pripyat, abandoned after the Chernobyl disaster, still has working traffic signals. Some lights flicker due to electrical faults that have persisted since the 1980s. They are relics that remain lit on streets where no one walks anymore. It is a haunting portrait of a place frozen in time. In Turkey, there is a castle made entirely of natural salt in the Hierapolis region. Its walls appear sculpted by artisans, but they were carved by wind and water. The salt crystals reflect the light and create white flashes. It is one of the most peculiar geological formations in the country. In Iceland, horses roam freely for most of the year in open fields. When winter approaches, they return to the stables on their own. This learned behavior has been passed down from generation to generation. It is a mixture of instinct, territorial memory, and living in harmony with the Nordic climate. Bomber beetles possess an explosive chemical mechanism within their bodies. When threatened, they expel a scalding jet of water that reaches about 212 degrees Fahrenheit. The liquid irritates and repels any predator. It is one of the most advanced defense systems in the insect kingdom. The leafcutter ant does not consume the leaves it carries. It takes them back to the nest to cultivate a fungus that serves as its true food. This cultivation is so efficient that it functions like a small underground farm. Its society is an evolutionary model of cooperation. In 1904, the first elevator powered entirely by electricity was inaugurated. Until then, elevators relied on steam or manual systems. This advancement revolutionized the construction of tall buildings. From that moment on, cities began to grow skyward. Ecuadorian cacao has varieties with unique aromas that develop notes similar to wine. This phenomenon depends on the soil, the altitude, and the fermentation of its beans. Chocolatiers from all over the world seek this exclusive quality. It is one of the most refined agricultural products on the planet. In Italy, there is a small town called Calcutta that was abandoned decades ago. Its inhabitants fled for fear that the ground would collapse. Years later, artists and bohemians returned to restore it. Today, it is a unique cultural enclave nestled in the mountains. Horseshoe crab blood is blue due to its internal copper content. This characteristic allows for the highly accurate detection of bacterial toxins. For this reason, it is used in the medical industry to verify the safety of medications. It is one of the world's most valuable biological resources. Sea slugs can rapidly change color to blend into their surroundings. They adjust their pigments according to the light and patterns on the seabed. This instant camouflage protects them from predators. Their skin acts as a living canvas that is constantly transforming. The basilisk lizard, known as the Jesus Christ lizard, can run across the water's surface thanks to its incredible speed, its enlarged legs, and the rapid movement of its tail. This ability only lasts a few seconds before it dives and continues swimming. Its technique has been studied to inspire designs in aquatic robotics. In Argentina, there is Laguna Colorada, a body of water that changes hues several times a year due to chemical reactions, microorganisms, and suspended minerals. Its colors can range from soft pink to intense red, creating a surreal natural spectacle. It is considered one of the most vibrant lagoons on the planet. The Atlas moth caterpillar has the surprising ability to emit an audible hiss to scare away its predators. This sound comes from an internal mechanism that abruptly expels air. Its size and coloration make it one of the most fascinating insects in the natural world. In 1969, a meteorite containing amino acids was discovered, providing evidence that the building blocks of life may exist beyond Earth. This meteorite, called Murchison, fell that year, and evidence was found within it that left-handed amino acids, which gave rise to life, could have originated in deep space. In Russia, there is the strange forest of crooked trees, where the trunks grow in perfect C-shaped curves. The cause remains debated. Theories point to mutations, climatic phenomena, or ancient human intervention. The place is considered a botanical enigma. Sea snakes are able to exhale small air bubbles to adjust their buoyancy, allowing them to breathe more easily near the surface. This mechanism helps them conserve energy when swimming long distances. The lotus flower has seeds that can remain underwater and dormant for decades before germinating. Its resilience has been the subject of studies on plant longevity. For this reason, it is considered a symbol of rebirth in several Asian cultures. In Egypt, cat mummies adorned with gold have been found, demonstrating the enormous spiritual value these animals held. Felines were seen as protectors against evil spirits and diseases. Some burials included sarcophagi carved especially for them. African gray parrots are notable for their exceptional intelligence. They can learn more than 1,000 words and understand concepts such as shapes, colors, and quantities. Their ability to mimic human voices is so accurate that they can deceive other animals and even unsuspecting people. In Norway, there is a museum dedicated exclusively to cheese, where more than 500 varieties are exhibited. The site documents centuries of Scandinavian cheesemaking tradition and preserves antique tools. It is a unique destination for food lovers. Sea snails possess a tooth structure called a radula, composed of hundreds of micro-teeth that function like a scraping band. They use it to pierce shells or scrape algae. It is one of nature's most resilient dental systems. In Greece, there are caves with gigantic gypsum crystals that can be more than 33 feet in length. These formations require thousands of years of stability to grow. The caves are so fragile that only authorized scientists are allowed access. The jaguar, the strongest feline in the Americas, possesses a bite so powerful that it can pierce the shells of adult turtles. Its technique consists of biting directly into the skull or the back of the prey's neck. This makes it a super predator of the jungle. In New Zealand, there are insects that mimic dried leaves with astonishing accuracy, from their texture to tiny spots that resemble fungi. This perfect camouflage makes them virtually invisible to predators. They are emblematic examples of adaptive evolution. Blue ice forms when layers of snow are compressed for centuries and expel air bubbles, leaving behind pure ice that refracts light in a unique way. This phenomenon can be seen in ancient glaciers. Its hypnotic color seems otherworldly. In 2001, Wikipedia launched its platform with just 20,000 articles created by volunteer contributors. In less than 2 decades, it became the largest encyclopedia ever created by humankind. The Nokia 1100 was released in 2003 and remains the best-selling mobile phone in history, with over 250 million units sold. Its success was due to its durability, long battery life, and affordable price. It was a device designed to function even in extreme conditions. Hey Ya by Outkast became one of the first viral songs without relying on social media. Its catchy rhythm, accompanied by an iconic music video, spread thanks to radio, forums, and word-of-mouth recommendations. It achieved global popularity and dominated music charts for months. The first Twilight book, written by Stephenie Meyer, was rejected by 14 publishers before being accepted. Once published, it became a worldwide literary phenomenon. The best-selling book of the 2000s was Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Its release generated lines at bookstores and unprecedented global anticipation. It concluded a saga that profoundly impacted young adult literature. Its influence remains strong among new generations of readers. The TikTok we know today emerged from the merger with Musical LY, a lip-syncing app popular among teenagers. When both platforms joined forces in 2018, the experience was radically transformed. This allowed TikTok to grow at an explosive rate. Today, it is one of the most influential social networks in the world. The Kindle sold out in less than 6 hours upon its launch in 2007. Demand exceeded all of Amazon's expectations. Readers appreciated its lightweight design, its e-ink screen, and the ability to carry hundreds of books. It was a watershed moment for the digital publishing market. The bacterium Deinococcus radiodurans is one of the most resilient organisms on the planet and can survive levels of radiation that would kill a human in seconds. Its DNA is repaired with extraordinary efficiency, even after being almost completely fragmented. That is why it is called the iron bacteria. In Australia, kangaroos possess a unique mechanism that allows them to shift gears while running without altering their breathing rate. Their muscular and tendon system stores elastic energy that optimizes each hop. This makes them some of the most efficient runners in the animal kingdom. Sunfish sometimes float upside down near the surface for hours, a behavior interpreted as resting or as a strategy to bask in the sunlight. Their motionless appearance confuses fishermen and divers who think they are sick. In Germany, there is a picturesque town called Rothenburg where all the lampposts are decorated with colorful mosaics. Each design was created by local artists and residents, turning the streets into an open-air museum. It is an example of permanent community art. Sparrow saliva contains enzymes that help soften and break down hard seeds, making them easier to digest. This mechanism allows them to take advantage of foods that other birds cannot easily consume. They also use it to feed their young. Fossil amber can encapsulate insects and small plant fragments for millions of years, preserving them in exquisite detail. These samples act as time capsules that reveal what entire ecosystems of the past were like. They are paleontological treasures. In Japan, there are trains that function as mobile libraries, where passengers can read during the journey and return the books at the end of the line. This initiative promotes reading in rural areas. The train cars are decorated like study rooms. Shakira made history by becoming the first artist to surpass 100 million followers on Facebook. Her digital presence demonstrated the global reach of Latin music. This achievement solidified her influence beyond the stage. It was a milestone that marked a new era for the relationship between artists and social media. YouTube Rewind 2018 became the most disliked video in the platform's history. Viewers criticized it for being disconnected from the reality of creators and trends. This massive backlash sparked a global conversation about authenticity on the internet. Since then, the series has been marked as an emblematic case of negative public response. In 2007, Kindle Direct Publishing was launched, Amazon's self-publishing platform that revolutionized the publishing market. It allowed thousands of writers to publish without intermediaries. It also democratized access to readers worldwide. It forever changed the digital book ecosystem. In Peru, there are mountains that change color with the seasons, Vinicunca being the most famous for its natural mineral bands. Its colors intensify with the humidity and sunlight, creating an almost surreal landscape. It is one of the most photographed spots in the Andes. The kiwi's DNA contains more genes than that of humans, making it a genetically complex organism despite its simple appearance. This genetic abundance is linked to its ancient evolution. Studies continue to reveal unexpected functions in its genome. The ii lemur uses its elongated middle finger to drill into wood and extract hidden insects, acting as a natural tool. This method is called percussive foraging. Its unique appearance distinguishes it among all primates. In Finland, floating saunas that sail across frozen lakes during winter are popular. Users enjoy the hot steam surrounded by Arctic landscapes. This tradition blends relaxation and adventure in equal measure. The alga Caulerpa taxifolia can regenerate completely from tiny fragments, making it highly invasive when introduced to new ecosystems. Its rapid growth alters entire marine habitats. It is one of the most studied species in marine biology. In Iceland, there are rivers that are naturally heated by underground volcanic activity, creating flowing hot springs. These warm rivers are unique in the world. They are popular destinations for geothermal nature enthusiasts. The Patu Digwa spider is the smallest in the world, measuring less than 1/25th of an inch in length, almost invisible to the naked eye. Despite its minuscule size, it produces functional webs. It is an extreme example of miniaturization in arachnids. In 1980, Mount St. Helens erupted, an event so powerful that it altered the regional climate for years. Its eruptive column reached tens of miles into the sky. It is one of the most studied volcanic events of the 20th century. Amazon acquired Twitch in 2014, understanding the potential of live streaming before anyone else. The platform went from being a niche site to dominating the streaming of video games and interactive events. The acquisition spurred technological improvements and monetization for creators. Today, it is one of the pillars of digital entertainment. Daft Punk's album, Random Access Memories, won the Grammy for Album of the Year in 2014, marking a triumphant return for the duo. The meticulous production and homage to the music of the 70s and 80s captivated audiences. Get Lucky became a global anthem. The Kindle Paperwhite popularized front lighting in e-readers, allowing users to read in the dark without glare. Its e-ink screen simulated real paper. The device boosted digital reading among millions of users. It was a key leap in the evolution of the e-book. Blue morpho butterflies have wings that do not get their color from a pigment, but from nanostructures that manipulate light to reflect an intense blue. This phenomenon is called structural coloration and is so efficient that it does not degrade over time, which is why their wings continue to shine even when damaged. The goblin shark has a long, flat snout covered in electroreceptors that allow it to detect the electricity emitted by other animals. Thanks to this ability, it can hunt in the total darkness of the deep sea, where its extendable jaw springs forward to capture prey. Vampire bats have saliva with natural anticoagulants that prevent blood from clotting while they feed. These compounds have been studied for the development of drugs to treat conditions such as thrombosis or cardiovascular diseases in humans. Moon jellyfish can move vertically using water currents that they control through gentle, rhythmic contractions in their bell. Their movement is so efficient that it expends little energy, allowing them to travel great distances despite their apparent fragility. Deep-sea fish possess bioluminescent organs that they use to attract prey in the absolute darkness of the deep ocean. These lights function as lures or communication signals and are part of an ecosystem where natural light never reaches. The puffer frog has the ability to inflate its body when it feels threatened, adopting a larger and more intimidating appearance to avoid predators. This defensive mechanism is quick and effective, making it difficult for larger animals to swallow or attack it. In 2023, Barbie achieved the highest box office gross for a film directed by a woman thanks to its combination of humor, social commentary, and vibrant aesthetics. Marketing and online conversation boosted its popularity. Its release became a global event. It marked a historic record for Greta Gerwig. Rosalia revolutionized Latin music with El Malquer, combining flamenco, electronica, and pop. The album was praised for its innovation and conceptual production. Its visual style reinforced her international identity. From there, she solidified her status as a global star. The Kobo e-reader became popular outside the United States due to its compatibility with multiple formats and its independent catalog. It offered alternatives to the closed Kindle ecosystem. Its international focus attracted readers from different regions. Over time, it gained a loyal community. Ariana Grande achieved 7 songs in the top 10 simultaneously, a feat only legendary artists had accomplished. Her impact stemmed from streaming and a massive fan base. The album responsible for this achievement became an instant hit. It was a pivotal moment in her career. Elon Musk unveiled the Cybertruck in 2019 with a window that was accidentally shattered during the demonstration. The incident instantly went viral. Despite the mishap, the presentation increased public interest. The vehicle's design sparked a global debate. Kendrick Lamar won the Pulitzer Prize in 2018, a historic achievement for a hip-hop artist. His album, DAMM, was recognized for its lyrical depth and cultural relevance. The award validated the genre in academic circles. It was a pivotal moment for contemporary music. The PS3 was the first console with a built-in Blu-ray player, which propelled the format in the high-definition disc war. Despite its high initial price, the integrated player was a significant advantage. It allowed millions to adopt the new standard. Blu-ray ultimately prevailed over HD DVD. In 2009, the Black Eyed Peas dominated the Billboard charts for 26 consecutive weeks, thanks to Boom Boom Pow and I Got a Feeling. The combination of electronic and pop music defined the sound of the decade. Their songs became ubiquitous at parties and on the radio. It was one of the most impressive achievements in modern music. Chicklings possess the remarkable ability to mimic the calls of other species when they are very young, which helps them avoid predators. This vocal mimicry acts as sound camouflage, confusing those that rely on hearing to detect their prey in the wild. Lizards can voluntarily detach their tails when caught by a predator, letting them twitch for a few seconds as a distraction. Over time, they regenerate a new tail, which is usually stiffer and less perfect than the original but sufficient for their survival. Amazon parrots typically form lifelong pairs and maintain their bond through perfectly synchronized duets. These shared melodies not only strengthen their relationship but also serve to defend territory and communicate with other flocks. Squid can expel a cloud of ink that acts as a visual screen, rendering them virtually invisible to predators for brief seconds. This ink also contains compounds that confuse the sense of smell, giving them time to escape quickly. Tree frogs can adhere to vertical surfaces thanks to adhesive pads on their toes, composed of microstructures that create suction. This adaptation allows them to climb leaves, trunks, and walls with ease, escaping terrestrial predators. In Japan, bonsai gardens can house trees over 500 years old, carefully pruned and maintained by generations of caretakers. Despite their small size, they retain all the characteristics of an adult tree, becoming true living works of art. Tubeworms can live around volcanic vents without oxygen, feeding on chemical compounds emitted from the deep sea. Their symbiotic relationship with internal bacteria allows them to survive in one of the most extreme environments on the planet. In 2014, Flappy Bird became a global phenomenon due to its extreme difficulty and simple design. However, its creator, Dong Nguyen, withdrew it from the market despite generating thousands of dollars daily in advertising revenue. He stated that the game had become too addictive and that the media attention affected him. The Arrowverse revitalized interest in superhero television series with a shared universe that included multiple characters and crossovers. Its success demonstrated that comic book stories could triumph outside of film. Furthermore, it allowed for experimentation with longer narratives and connections between shows. Its legacy paved the way for more series in the genre. Rain frogs have the amazing ability to absorb water through their skin in just a few seconds. This allows them to hydrate quickly in dry environments, without needing to drink water directly. Their skin acts like a biological sponge, ensuring their survival in ecosystems where water sources are scarce or temporary. Scorpions glow under ultraviolet light due to compounds present in their exoskeleton. Although the exact function of this fluorescence is still being investigated, it is believed that it could serve as a mechanism for protection, communication, or detecting ambient light. Their glow allows them to be easily detected at night with a UV flashlight. Desert plants have the ability to remain completely dormant for years without water. When it finally rains, they reactivate their metabolism in a matter of hours, rapidly sprouting leaves and flowers. This extreme adaptation guarantees their survival in the driest environments on the planet. Carnivorous plants in South Africa have the ability to digest whole insects in less than a minute. Their leaves contain powerful enzymes that quickly break down their prey, allowing them to absorb essential nutrients. This adaptation helps them survive in mineral-poor soils. New Zealand's kakapo parrots are nocturnal, heavy birds that are completely flightless. They move by walking or climbing, depending on the forest vegetation. Despite these limitations, they have survived thanks to their camouflage and the historical absence of predators in their natural environment. Blue lobsters are extremely rare, appearing in approximately 1 in every 2 million individuals. Their unique color is due to a genetic mutation that alters pigment production. When they do appear, they often become true biological treasures for researchers and aquariums. Angelfish possess an amazing ability to recognize their companions and establish social hierarchies. Each individual distinguishes specific color patterns and behaviors, which facilitates coexistence in groups. This social intelligence allows them to avoid unnecessary conflicts within their community. Surinamese toads have a unique reproductive system. The female incubates the eggs inside her own back. Her skin transforms into small cavities where the embryos grow protected. When they are ready, they emerge directly as fully formed little toads. Orb-weaving spiders can modify the shape and structure of their webs, depending on the type of prey available. They adjust the size, tension, and distance between threads to maximize their hunting efficiency. This flexibility makes them master builders of the animal kingdom. The Mandalorian revived enthusiasm for Star Wars by presenting a story accessible even to those who did not follow the saga. Its space western style and the introduction of Grogu turned it into a cultural phenomenon. It also boosted the quality of the franchise's television productions. It was key to the growth of Disney+. Seahorses possess a prehensile tail that they use to cling to marine plants and avoid being swept away by currents. This tail is so flexible and strong that it can grasp thin stems without damaging them, allowing them to maintain their position while hunting small crustaceans. In Brazil, trees like Harpocilus niceanus have been recorded whose fruits emit a faint glow that attracts pollinating bats at night. This natural luminescence is not as bright as a lamp, but it is enough to guide the animals to the flowers, ensuring seed dispersal in rainforest areas. Red algae can survive frozen for months under layers of ice in polar regions, resuming their growth when light returns. This extreme resistance is due to antifreeze proteins that prevent their cells from being damaged, allowing them to thrive in harsh environments. Whale sharks can filter more than 1,500 gallons of water per hour while swimming with their mouths open, capturing plankton and small fish. Despite their gigantic size, their diet is surprisingly delicate, based on tiny organisms that float in the surface layers of the ocean. Dragonflies are able to fly backward thanks to the independent movement of their 4 wings, which they can beat at different angles. This control allows them to maneuver with astonishing precision, stop abruptly, or change direction instantly while hunting in mid-flight. River turtles can recognize their caretakers through visual and auditory cues, developing feeding and behavioral routines. Although they are often thought to have poor memory, these species demonstrate a remarkable learning capacity that allows them to adapt to controlled environments. Camels have thick pads on the soles of their feet that allow them to walk on extremely hot sand without burning. These structures expand when they step, providing stability and preventing them from sinking into soft dunes during their long desert journeys. Fiddler crabs possess an enormous claw that they use to communicate through rhythmic movements that resemble greetings. This claw also serves to fight for territory or attract mates, becoming a multifunctional tool within their complex social behavior. Praying mantises can rotate their heads almost 180 degrees, a unique ability among predatory insects. This rotation allows them to precisely monitor their surroundings, locate prey, and avoid threats without moving the rest of their body, remaining camouflaged among the leaves. Sea lions can sleep while floating in the water, using gentle currents that keep them drifting effortlessly. To avoid danger, they rest with only half their brain active, a mechanism that allows them to remain alert to predators or changes in their environment. Anteaters have tongues that can measure up to about 2 feet, covered in a sticky substance that traps hundreds of insects with each flick. Their tongues move with astonishing speed, allowing them to devour entire nests in a matter of minutes. In Australia, some snakes have the ability to climb trees to hunt birds. They achieve this through incredible muscle control, coiling around trunks and branches for stability. This behavior allows them to access entire nests, making them highly efficient predators. Lanternfish use bioluminescent organs to produce their own light in the darkness of the ocean. With these lights, they attract small prey that swim toward the glow, unaware that they are approaching the predator's mouth. This mechanism is essential in areas where sunlight does not reach. Carnivorous plants can remember when prey has touched their leaves. This memory is very brief, but enough to activate closing mechanisms only if the leaf receives 2 consecutive stimuli within a few seconds. This way, they avoid wasting energy trapping leaf fragments or raindrops. In Iceland, geothermal heat is used not only for swimming pools but also to heat entire greenhouses. Thanks to this, the country can grow vegetables and fruits, even tropical ones, in environments where the climate would normally prevent it. The energy is clean, constant, and highly efficient. Wolves can communicate through howls that travel over 6 miles. These sounds not only help keep the pack together, but also warn rival wolves of their territory. Each wolf has a unique howl, recognizable by its group. Fire corals possess specialized cells called nematocysts, capable of injecting toxins upon the slightest contact. Their sting can be as painful as a jellyfish sting and serves as both a defense mechanism and a method for capturing prey in tropical waters. In Peru, several Andean caves preserve mummies over 2,000 years old, protected by the dry and stable climate. Some retain intact tissues, hair, and even clothing. These mummies provide invaluable information about pre-Incan cultures. Black bears are surprisingly good climbers. Thanks to their curved claws and muscular strength, they can climb trees at high speed, especially when they need to escape or protect their cubs. Many children underestimate them because of their size. Pharaoh ants are famous for forming gigantic colonies that can include millions of individuals. They have multiple queens and expand their nests into extensive networks, making them extremely difficult to eradicate once established in a building. In Mexico, there are lagoons like Laguna Verde, capable of changing color thanks to the presence of pigmented algae. These microalgae react to sunlight, temperature, and water composition, transforming the surface into shades of green, turquoise, or blue. The phenomenon turns these bodies of water into landscapes that seem unreal. Stick insects can remain completely motionless for days on end to avoid predators. Their exceptional camouflage, mimicking branches or dry leaves, allows them to go unnoticed even when in plain sight. This strategy makes immobility their primary survival tool. Mandarin fish possess such intense colors that they even reflect ultraviolet light, creating patterns that only other species can perceive. Their bright colors serve as a mating signal and a warning to predators due to toxic substances present in their skin. They are considered one of the most beautiful fish in the ocean. Leatherback turtles are extraordinary swimmers and can reach speeds of over 21 miles per hour during their long migrations. They have large flippers and a streamlined body that reduces friction in the water. These abilities allow them to travel across entire oceans to feed and reproduce. Dumbo octopuses get their name from the ear, like fins that protrude from their heads. These fins allow them to move smoothly through the ocean depths, with a style that resembles a slow, fluttering motion. Their peculiar appearance makes them one of the most recognizable cephalopods. In Madagascar, there are lemurs whose tails are longer than their bodies. This characteristic helps them balance while leaping between trees and communicate through visual signals. Their long tails also serve as a social tool within their groups. Goliath beetles are among the strongest insects on the planet, capable of lifting up to about 850 times their own weight. This extraordinary strength is due to their compact musculature and tough exoskeleton. Their size and power make them fascinating to entomologists worldwide. Cyberpunk 2077 had one of the most controversial launches in modern gaming history. Its massive anticipation contrasted sharply with severe technical issues on consoles. Even so, its narrative, aesthetics, and ambition were recognized by players. Over time, multiple updates significantly improved the experience. Napoleon Bonaparte's army suffered an unusual defeat in 1807 against a large colony of rabbits. After signing a peace treaty, Napoleon organized a hunt to celebrate, but the released rabbits, instead of fleeing, charged at him. The attack by thousands of rabbits overwhelmed and scattered the soldiers, forcing Napoleon to retreat. The astronomer and scientist Galileo Galilei was initially buried without a proper grave after his death in 1642 due to his conviction for heresy. A century later, his remains were moved to a mausoleum. During the exhumation, an admirer stole 3 fingers, a vertebra, and a tooth. The fingers are on display today at the Galileo Museum in Florence. The famous Phaistos disc, a baked clay disc from Minoan, Crete, is one of archaeology's greatest enigmas. The disc is covered with a spiral pattern of hieroglyphic seals, unlike any other Cretan script. Its purpose and message remain unsolved. Despite numerous attempts at decipherment, Nutella was invented in Italy during World War II by confectioner Pietro Ferrero. Faced with a cocoa shortage, Ferrero added hazelnuts to the mixture to make the chocolate go further. The resulting product, originally a solid block, was transformed into the spreadable cream we know today. The bacterium Deinococcus radiodurans has the remarkable ability to survive extremely high levels of radiation. Its resistance is such that it has earned the nickname Conan the bacteria. Its ability to efficiently repair its own DNA makes it an organism of great interest for space research. The 1939 film Gone with the Wind was the first color film to win the Academy Award for Best Picture. Its use of the 3-strip Technicolor process was revolutionary, employing 3 separate negatives to record the primary colors. This gave the film its vibrant and rich color palette. NASA had to stop using Microsoft's WordArt software program in its internal presentations. The reason was that the excessive use of curved fonts and garish colors was considered unprofessional. The incident became a humorous example of how even serious organizations can fall prey to software fads. The tiramisu dessert was invented in the 1960s in the city of Treviso, Italy, although its exact origin is hotly debated. The word means lift me up or cheer me up in Italian. It is believed that its name comes from its energizing ingredients: coffee, cocoa, and mascarpone cheese. The famous door scene in the 1997 film Titanic, where Rose floats but Jack cannot fit, sparked controversy over whether both characters could have fit. The filmmakers argued that the issue was not just space, but also the buoyancy and stability of the makeshift raft. Lenticular clouds are stationary formations shaped like a lens or flying saucer that form in mountainous areas. They are created when moist air flows over mountains and condenses on top of stationary airwaves. They are often mistaken for UFOs due to their unusually smooth and flat shape. There is an area in central Argentina, near the city of Córdoba, that has recorded the highest frequency of lightning in the world. This area is known as the Pampa El Rayo, or Pampa de los Relámpagos, Pampa of Lightning. This extremely high electrical activity surpasses even the famous Catatumbo lightning in Venezuela. The Citarum River in Indonesia, once considered one of the dirtiest rivers in the world, contains more microplastics than fish in its waters. The river, which flows through the capital, Jakarta, reflects the global plastic pollution crisis, severely impacting millions of people who depend on it for irrigation and domestic use. The Great Blue Hole in Belize is a massive, almost perfectly circular underwater sinkhole, about 984 feet wide and about 410 feet deep. This sinkhole formed during the last ice age, when sea levels were much lower, and it was a limestone cave that was later flooded. In cricket, there is a term called a mankad, used when a bowler removes a batsman who has stepped too far out of bounds before the ball is even delivered. It is named after the Indian player Vinu Mankad. It is the ultimate act of treachery on the field. Tonic water glows under ultraviolet light because it contains quinine, a compound used to give it its characteristic bitter taste and which exhibits fluorescent properties. Quinine was historically used to prevent malaria, leading to the famous invention of the gin and tonic by British officers in India to make taking the medicine more palatable. L'Oreal's famous slogan, "Because I am worth it," was created by Elon Specht, a 23-year-old copywriter. At a time when beauty advertising focused on what women could do to please men, Specht challenged that narrative, creating a message of self-affirmation and empowerment, transforming the brand. The Amazon River in South America, famous for its volume of water, is not only the largest in that respect, but it also has a subterranean twin river. The Hamza River flows about 2.5 miles below the Amazon and is actually wider than the Amazon itself, although its flow is much smaller. The Hamza was discovered in 2011 and flows slowly through porous rock, a discovery that redefined the hydrology of the Amazon basin. The shortest song ever released was You Suffer by the British grindcore band Napalm Death, which lasts exactly 1,316 seconds. The song appears on their 1987 album Scum and has become an extreme rock legend. It is literally a shouted syllable, and due to its extreme brevity, holds a Guinness World Record for being the shortest song ever recorded. Lake Karachay in Russia is considered by some to be the most polluted place on the planet, with extremely high levels of radiation. It served as a dumping ground for radioactive waste from a nearby secret nuclear plant during the Cold War. The radiation was so intense that, at its worst, being near the shore for an hour could be fatal. The food coloring tartrazine E102, often used to give a bright yellow hue to sweets, drinks, and snacks, has been the subject of controversy. Tartrazine has been found to be linked to hyperactivity in some children, leading to its being banned or heavily regulated in several European countries. The Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan was killed in the Philippines by the local leader Lapu-Lapu in 1521, before his expedition could complete the first circumnavigation of the world. Magellan was killed in a spear attack for his involvement in a local tribal dispute, meaning that, ironically, the man whose name is linked to the greatest feat of exploration never personally completed it. The city of Vigan in the Philippines is a remarkable example of a Spanish colonial city that has retained its architecture almost intact despite surviving World War II and numerous natural disasters. It is said that Vigan was spared from bombing in 1945 because a Japanese officer married to a local woman negotiated with the Americans to have it declared an open city and avoid its destruction. In Milan, Italy, there is a law that, with the exception of funerals or hospitals, requires people to always keep a smile on their face. The law comes from an old Austro-Hungarian statute. Although it is no longer enforced, the mere idea that the government can force you to be happy in public is a source of humor about bureaucracy. One more reason to love Italian coffee, at least it gives you an excuse to smile. The so-called world's most dangerous cheese is Casu Marzu, from Sardinia, Italy, which literally translates as rotten cheese. This sheep's milk cheese contains live cheese fly larvae that are intentionally introduced to aid fermentation. It is considered dangerous because the larvae can survive stomach acid, causing intestinal problems. The famous Little Mermaid statue in Copenhagen, Denmark, has been vandalized numerous times. Over the years, it has been decapitated twice, had an arm cut off, been covered in paint, and was even thrown into the sea by vandals. Despite the recurring attacks, the city repairs it and returns it to its place, making it a symbol of cultural resilience. The famous slogan "Diamonds are forever" was created in 1947 for the De Beers Diamond Company. This phrase, created by copywriter Francis Garrity, achieved a marketing feat by linking a luxury product with the emotion of love and marriage. It transformed diamonds, previously relatively uncommon as engagement rings, into an essential element of Western wedding tradition. There is a place known as Horsetail Fall in Yosemite National Park, United States. For just a few weeks in late February, if specific atmospheric and snow conditions are met, the setting sun strikes the waterfall at the perfect angle, illuminating it so that it appears to be burning with molten lava. Egypt is one of the few countries that has a city with the same name as its country, Cairo al-Qahira, and the nation of Egypt. However, what is truly fascinating is that over 90% of the Egyptian population lives on only about 5.5% of its territory, concentrated along the banks of the Nile River. The rest is uninhabitable desert. During World War II, the German army had plans to train dogs to speak and read. They believed this would give them a strategic advantage. German scientists claimed that dogs could mimic human speech and communicate by pawing. The project was, obviously, a failure. In 1858, the Suez Canal faced an unusual dispute over the location of its Mediterranean terminus. The dispute was resolved through a contest between two engineers who were to dig wells to determine which location had the most available fresh water. The winning location became modern-day Port Said. Medieval knights often used the art of memory, or method of loci, to memorize long lists of names, genealogies, or biblical passages. This technique involved associating each item on the list with a specific location within a familiar place, such as their castle or chapel, and then mentally walking through that location to recall the items. The Tunguska incident in Siberia in 1908 is one of the greatest unsolved mysteries, a massive explosion leveled about 2,000 square miles of forest. It is believed to have been caused by the impact of a meteorite or comet in the air, about 3 to 6 miles above the surface. The strange thing is that, unlike a normal impact, no crater was ever found, suggesting that the object completely disintegrated before hitting the ground. The New Adabu ship graveyard in Mauritania is one of the largest ship graveyards in the world. The bay surrounding the city is the final destination for hundreds of abandoned vessels, often due to a lack of regulations and the high cost of dismantling them. Beavers have the ability to hold their breath underwater for up to 15 minutes. This is essential for their dam building work. The fact becomes humorous when you compare it to a human in a swimming pool, and consider that the beaver is probably the only animal that bothers to build its own pool and can then stay at the bottom without a care. In the 1973 film The Exorcist, Linda Blair Regan's visible breath in the cold room was not a special effect, but an intentional, practical effect. The production team had to install an industrial air conditioning system and liquid nitrogen tanks to lower the temperature of the set to about 30 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. This effort made the actors' visible breathing realistic and believable, contributing to the film's chilling atmosphere. Kellogg's cereal company was one of the first to use radio to directly target children in its advertising campaigns. In 1930, they sponsored the radio program The Singing Lady, a folk story program. By appealing to children, the brand achieved a child pressure effect, encouraging parents to buy their products at the supermarket. Waiter's race is a sport practiced worldwide, especially in France. The objective is to complete a race while carrying a tray with a bottle and glasses filled with liquid without spilling a drop and without running. The emphasis is on the speed of the light step and stability. It is a test of balance and grace that celebrates professional service. Ajua canine wrestling is an unusual sport in Mexico that combines professional wrestling with the entertainment of a mascot, a wrestler dressed as a dog or other animal. The term Ajua is a Mexican exclamation of excitement. These wrestlers are typically highly acrobatic and add an element of comedy and spectacle to the seriousness of traditional wrestling. The largest object in the solar system after the Sun is Jupiter, and its size is so immense that all the other planets, moons, and asteroids in the solar system could fit inside it. In fact, Jupiter is so massive that the center of gravity between Jupiter and the Sun is not located inside the Sun, but at a point just outside its surface, demonstrating its enormous gravitational influence. The Nebra disk is a bronze plaque about 3,600 years old, found in Germany, that shows what are believed to be the oldest known depictions of celestial phenomena. It shows the moon, the sun, or a full moon, and the Pleiades. This disk was a sophisticated astronomical instrument that allowed Bronze Age people to determine the solstices and planting times. In 2004, the Hubble Space Telescope captured one of its most iconic images of the Crab Nebula in unprecedented detail. This photograph allowed for a better study of the supernova remnant's internal structure. It also revealed energy patterns that broadened our understanding of nebula behavior. In 2015, the New Horizons probe made a historic flyby of Pluto, sending back the first close-up images of the dwarf planet. The photographs revealed a world more active and complex than expected. Icy mountains, glowing plains, and mysterious formations appeared for the first time to human eyes. This milestone changed our understanding of the boundaries of the solar system. The word selfie was chosen as Word of the Year by the Oxford Dictionaries in 2013 due to its enormous social presence. The explosion of front-facing cameras and social media facilitated its spread. The concept redefined the relationship with self-image and digital communication. Since then, it has become a fundamental part of everyday language. The film Parasite, released in 2019, made history by becoming the first non-English language film to win the Oscar for Best Picture. Its social commentary, dark humor, and narrative structure captivated audiences worldwide. Director Bong Joon-ho's work redefined the boundaries of international cinema. It also paved the way for greater diversity in Hollywood. The Aral Sea shrank drastically between 2000 and 2020 due to the diversion of its feeder rivers. What was once one of the world's largest lakes was partially transformed into desert. This change affected entire ecosystems and human communities. The Chicxulub crater was drilled in 2016 to study the formation of the impact that caused the extinction of the dinosaurs. The mission allowed for the analysis of deep rocks never before examined. Its results revealed details about the immediate effects of the impact. These studies helped to understand how life on Earth changed after the event. Athlete Eliud Kipchoge broke the 2-hour marathon barrier in 2019 during a controlled event. Although not recognized as an official record, his feat demonstrated human potential. The achievement required special conditions, advanced technology, and a support team. The asteroid Apophis will make a notable close approach to Earth in 2029, though it poses no threat. Its trajectory has been calculated with great precision by the scientific community. This event will allow scientists to study it from an unusual distance. It will be a unique opportunity to observe a large, nearby object. In 2020, Billie Eilish became the youngest person to win all 4 major Grammy categories. Her innovative style and artistic identity redefined contemporary pop. Her minimalist and emotive music captured global attention. Her success demonstrated the creative power of new generations. The Deep Sea Challenge expedition, led by James Cameron in 2012, descended to the Mariana Trench, the deepest point in the ocean. The journey yielded unprecedented images and scientific samples. Their feat demonstrated the possibility of exploring the planet's most extreme regions. Dalgona coffee became a viral phenomenon during the 2020 pandemic. Its simple and aesthetically pleasing preparation made it perfect for social media. Millions of users replicated the recipe at home during lockdowns. It became a symbol of culinary creativity in difficult times. The eruption of the Eyjafjallajökull volcano in 2010 paralyzed European air traffic for weeks. Volcanic ash spread through the sky, forcing the cancellation of thousands of flights. The event highlighted the vulnerability of global transportation to nature. Foo Fighters established themselves as headliners at major festivals between 2000 and 2010. Their energetic live performances and robust discography made them icons of modern rock. The band maintained a close connection with their audience. This period elevated their global prestige. During World War II, the United States Army created a secret unit known as the Ghost Army, which used tanks, inflatable vehicles, and sound effects to deceive the German army about the location of its forces. The world's shortest river is located in Italy. The Sarka River flows through the Trentino Alto Adige region and is notable for its brevity and its origin from a spring. Bocce is a sport that combines elements of soccer, volleyball, and gymnastics, and is played on an inflatable court with trampolines on either side of the net. The ancient Romans were so fond of duck that they created a dish called a piscis that included it with more than 25 ingredients, including herbs, spices, dates, and wine. Ludwig van Beethoven was completely deaf when he composed some of his most important and famous works, including his Ninth Symphony. The Monopoly Woman character, who appears on the back of the chance and community chess cards, is Mr. Monopoly's niece, and her name is Miss Pennybags. The film Avatar, released in 2009, took about 10 years to develop, mainly because the motion capture technology director James Cameron needed was not yet fully developed when he first conceived the project. Juneteenth is celebrated on June 19th in the United States. It commemorates the date in 1865 when the last slaves were freed in Texas. more than 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. It is a business custom in Finland for important meetings to end or even take place in a sauna. This is believed to promote honesty and transparency. The Ottoman Empire was contemporaneous with the invention of the typewriter. The empire, founded in 1299, dissolved in 1922, while the modern typewriter was invented in the 1860s. The Persian army used cats to its strategic advantage during the Battle of Pelusium against the Egyptians in 525 BC. The Egyptians, who revered cats as sacred, refused to retaliate so as not to harm them. The country of Nauru in Oceania is the only sovereign republic in the world without an official capital city. Its government offices are located in the Jaren district. The crooked forest of Krivy Las in Poland is a natural mystery. Hundreds of pine trees grow with a 90-degree bend at their bases, but the reason for this shape, possibly human intervention to produce curved wood, is still unclear. In Iceland, one of the traditional dishes is hakarl, a cured shark that has been fermented for several months. It has a very strong ammonia flavor. Ostrich racing is a sport in South Africa and parts of the United States where people ride ostriches, although it is a difficult sport because the birds are hard to control. The Mona Lisa, also known as La Gioconda, has been estimated to be worth more than $860 million as of 2024. And legally, it is uninsurable because it is considered French public property. In Russia, it is considered bad luck to give flowers in an even number. Even numbers are reserved for funerals, so bouquets should have an odd number of flowers. The unit of frequency, the Hertz, is named after the German physicist Heinrich Hertz, who demonstrated the existence of electromagnetic waves. Chameleons do not change color mainly to camouflage themselves, but primarily to regulate their body temperature and to communicate with other chameleons, expressing moods such as fear or readiness to mate. The Aztec Empire was one of the last great civilizations to use cacao beans as currency. This made chocolate an extremely valuable commodity. In 1908, a massive explosion over Tunguska, Siberia, leveled approximately 770 square miles of forest, but no crater was found. It is believed to have been caused by a bolide or asteroid that exploded in the atmosphere. Little-known historical event, the heaviest snowfall ever recorded in the history of warfare, did not occur in Russia, but at the Battle of Monte Cassino in Italy in 1944. Allied forces fought in extremely cold conditions. The Vikings used a sunstone to navigate, a mineral that could polarize sunlight and help them determine the position of the sun even on cloudy days. Angel Falls in Venezuela is the world's tallest uninterrupted waterfall. With a height of about 3,200 feet, the height is so great that most of the water is atomized into mist before hitting the ground. There are more sheep than people in New Zealand, a ratio that historically has been as high as 12 sheep per person, although the ratio has decreased in recent decades. The first song transmitted to the moon in 1969 was Frank Sinatra's Fly Me to the Moon, a landmark event in music history. The Wall of Ice scene in Game of Thrones was filmed in an abandoned quarry in Northern Ireland and was the largest construction set in European television history. The British Museum contains around 8 million objects in its collection, but only 1% are on public display at any one time due to space limitations. Check out this unusual sport, underwater hockey. Octopus is a sport played at the bottom of a swimming pool, where players, wearing snorkels, push a puck along the bottom with a small stick. The oldest known wine was found in a Roman tomb near Speyer, Germany, and dates back about 1,700 years. It is known as the Speyer wine bottle. Calcio Storico Fiorentino is a brutal form of ancient football originating in Florence, Italy, that combines rugby, kickboxing, and wrestling. It is played only once a year. The Nokia company was originally a wood pulp, rubber, and cable company. The name comes from the Nokianverta River in Finland. In Bulgaria, nodding your head from side to side means yes, while shaking your head up and down means no in most other places. In 1974, a radio message known as the Arecibo message was transmitted from the Puerto Rico Observatory toward the M13 star cluster in the hope of contacting extraterrestrial life. The message will reach its destination in about 25,000 years. Tell us in the comments which of these fun facts blew your mind the most. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and share for more fun facts.